Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now December 23rd of 2020, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise between Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and other creators coming on board to really handle everything moving ahead. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars is that yes, we do realize that they really are going in a more successful direction, given of what has happened with The Mandalorian Season 2's finale, with the entrance of Luke Skywalker in the form of live action and using de-aging technology. It really was a very big moment, if not one of the biggest moments in Star Wars history, especially for the character of Luke Skywalker. Now, with that being said, of course, we do know that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni poured their heart and soul into Season 2 of The Mandalorian, especially Peyton, who directed the episode. He did a fantastic job. We also have to give him a lot of credit for really allowing Luke to have the action the way that he did as well. However, one man really made it all happen, and that was, of course, creator George Lucas, working very closely with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni on exactly how this should be done from start to finish, and Disney CEO Bob Chapek, who even allowed this to happen in the first place. Now, Bob Chapek, mind you, he really came into the picture in early 2020 this year, and has really been changing Star Wars right from the get-go. We've been talking about this for about 9-10 months now, of how Chapek and really does have a mission in order to create his own legacy within the Star Wars fandom. Now, on top of all of this, given that The Mandalorian Season 2 is now over, Disney and Lucasfilm are now focused on their new Star Wars projects for their new universe. Both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are hard at work on developing the new projects in order to reunite the fans around the world. However, in a recent interview, Disney CEO Bob Chapek was able to speak on behalf of George Lucas of how he felt with the return of Luke Skywalker in Mando Season 2, explaining that Lucas was very impressed with what both Favreau and Filoni, as well as Peyton, put together for Luke's surprise return, and that Lucas told Chapek that this is something that he and Jon Favreau have been talking about for almost 1 year right after the sequel movies were over. George Lucas continued to tell Bob Chapek that he and Favreau wanted to make sure that the fans would be able to experience a moment of Luke's life that the fans have never witnessed or seen before showing us his true powers taken directly from Star Wars Legends material and more. Lucas continued to tell Chapek that he and Dave Filoni at one point in time also considered using more intense powers for Luke in the scene that may have actually went a bit overboard, so they wanted to keep things simple by him taking on the Dark Troopers and using his basic Force abilities. Now, George also told Chapek as well about the CGI work done on Mark Hamill, saying that he realizes that some fans will always actually criticize the work that was done and how the work was actually completed, but we realized that we did a great job, and a great job between us and Favreau on creating an image for Luke in his late 20s that was just so surprising to see, and that he states it's not about the technology used that matters, but that it's the story of the character that truly matters at heart. Now, what's really exciting about this, let's stop right there for a second, is how George and Dave Filoni at one point in time discussed that they wanted to actually explore Luke Skywalker using more intense powers in the hallway scene. Now, I'm not quite sure what else Luke could have done. They could have absolutely done some of the crazy wild things that Luke did in Star Wars Legends. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But given that he was inside an actual hallway and in a tight space, I guess they figured they should stick with the more basic stuff like Force Crush, Force Push, Force Pull, all those different things. I honestly loved with what they did. I think it was sufficient. We finally were able to actually see Luke Skywalker in his prime, really doing everything in his power. So moving on from all of this, on top of this, Lucas also told Chapek that when it comes to the CGI work, of course, you're always going to be able to witness, or see the difference between that and what a human face really is. The technology is not there 100%, and it's taking a while to actually get it to the point where it's going to be absolutely seamless. So, I myself had no issues at all with the CGI. I realized that some people have problems with the CGI work, the de-aging technology. For a TV budget, we got to also remember that this is a TV budget, project. It's not a feature-length film. Completely stunning. I mean, I think it was very well done for what it was. Of course, if you look very, very, very close, you can see some abnormalities here and there with the animation of the mouth, maybe, but I gotta say, I mean, deepfakes that you have seen on the internet, yes, they are better, but given of what Lucasfilm was doing with the character of Luke and what they had for their budget, they did a fantastic job, I thought, because they actually focused on the story, They didn't necessarily have, Luke's face in the spotlight every single frame. We're focusing on him taking on the Dark Troopers while he's hooded, and then we have him come into the entrance, right through the blast doors, pulling that hood back and revealing his face. Saying a couple pieces of dialogue like, "I am," "Come on, little one," talent without training is nothing, which, by the way, I believe was a big jab at Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi of how Rey was basically not trained. I think it was. I don't know about you guys, let me know. So yeah, guys, with that being said, drop a comment below. Let me know about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.